Hello, I'm Helen from Journal with Purpose and welcome to my latest YouTube video. Today I'm going to be doing some journaling in my Flex book and I'm going to be working on two of the prompts from this month's list that I've released on Patreon, and these are journal prompts that I release every month. And two of the prompts that I'm going to pick are favourite colours, and the writing prompt is keeps me calm. And for my favourite colours, I'm going to be using mainly blue watercolours. These are definitely some of my favourite colours, and also they're really calming colours for me. It reminds me, I suppose, of being by the sea or lovely skies to look up at. And I'm using a set of Kuretake Gansai Tambi watercolours, and I want to use two different blues, and I'm going to paint some really simple flowers on my left hand page, and then I'm going to dry them and add a quote over the top. And if you're at all nervous with watercolour, I think that's a really good way to go. If you do it as a background for something, that will kind of disguise any of the little mistakes that you might be worried about. But this is going to be a really simple watercolour flower that I'm doing anyway. So I'm mixing up quite a lot of this paley, almost turquoise blue colour. And then I'm going to want a little bit of a brighter blue, I think, perhaps to just drop in the middle. So I don't want quite as much of this one, but I do want both of these colours ready to go, which is why I'm mixing them in the palette, because I'll be dropping one blue into the other whilst they're still wet. Okay, I think that will do me. I can always add a bit more in later on if I want to. So what I want is some stems of flowers coming all the way down this page and them to be at different heights. I'm using a size 4 round brush, so I'm going to use this turquoisey blue, and I'm just going to be dabbing in a kind of circular motion to create some really pretty flowers. And I'm going to be doing this kind of all down the page. This stem is going to wind up here. So I'm just moving really quickly, definitely not overthinking this one, just altering the direction of my brush and tapping it on the page. And it doesn't matter at all if the flowers are of slightly different sizes, just really relaxed flowers. And now, before they dry too much, I'm going to pick up that different shade of blue. I'm just going to pop that in various places around the flower and just letting it drip into the petals that are already there. So it just gives a slight variation in some of those petals. And you could certainly just stick to one, but I really like having those slight differences around the flower. So now I've got those going, I really am just going to carry on and add these pretty much so that they're covering the whole page. And then I will get those dried off and add the stem. that that is dry, I'm going to mix up a little green paint for the stem. And again, I want to keep this really simple. I'm not even going to worry about adding any leaves at all this time. Just some nice simple stems which will join all of those flowers together. Okay. So I find it easiest to start from the bottom of my page for some reason. And I'm going to bring my stem up, but I'm going to be missing out some of the flowers for now. So just bringing that up to touch that flower. I'm going to bring another stem out up here. And I'm trying to keep quite a loose touch, but just to keep the stem fairly thin, but it doesn't really matter. And then bring that one up to the top. And then I'm going to start adding in any of the other flowers that are currently separated. So I'm actually going to bring one stem up and across my page over to here. And then add these two on the side, and if you slightly run into your flowers as well, that really doesn't matter at all. And as I mentioned, this is the absolute beauty of these pages. If you're going to be writing over the top, it's just going to add a really lovely background. And I'm going to do exactly the same with this one. And again, just add in any little stems that are missing. And then one final check to make sure all of the flowers have a stem leading into them. And then one final thing I want to do before I add a quote to that page is just add some little gold splashes on top. And I've got this lovely set here. Again, it's the Kuretake Gansai Tambi range. I'll make sure that I leave links to everything down below. And I'm going to use some of this yellow gold. I'm just going to add these little flicks. So they're going to be quite subtle. But as I turn the pages in my journal, that little bit of gold will just catch my eye. So I'm now going to get that dried so I can add my quote on top. I'm not sure how well the camera picks up, but it's just got lovely little gold splashes now all over it. So for my quote on the left-hand page, because I'm focusing on things that keep me calm, I want to add a quote that ties in with that. And one that I really like is "You Can Do Anything But Not Everything" by David Allen. And I think particularly this time of the year, there's a tendency to try and get so much done, things we want to finish off by the end of the year, plus extra commitments. Often that are kind of we need to deal with. So I want to use that as a reminder to myself for seeing it out this end part of the year. And for my quote, I'm using a Tombow Fudenosuke brush pen with a firm nib. To finish off these pages, I want to add one more little quote to the right hand side. This came from the Patreon printable bundle. A little reminder to have patience with yourself, you're doing great. I really like having reminders like this in my journal, particularly when things feel a bit stressful, being able to flick back through those pages and look at some of the advice I've given myself. And for my final bits of decoration, I want to use some images from this pet tape from London Gifties. I thought these had a really lovely calm feel to them, so I think they'll be perfect for this page. So I'm just going to cut around those images and then peel the backing off so that I can stick them to my page. For my journal writing, I'm going to be using a Kaweco Sport fountain pen with blue ink inside. And I want to start thinking about the things that I know keep me calm whilst I'm still feeling calm, because I know how things can be and how I can feel towards the end of the year. So I want to write down some things now which I know are really calming to me. So that's what I'm going to use this page for. That is my journal writing now all complete. I really hope you've enjoyed seeing how I put these pages together, and hopefully you'll feel inspired to try out something similar for yourselves. I really enjoyed writing down the things which I know make me feel calm. Even writing them actually helps me to feel calm. So I think we'll definitely be referring back to those over the coming weeks. As always, I want to say a massive thank you to everybody who's joined me over on Patreon. Well, thank you ever so much for watching. I hope you're doing really well, and I look forward to speaking with you really soon in my next video.